Hello and welcome to Iowa. My name is Justin. I'm the owner of Team 53. I partner with Coach Dave Academy and Impel Motorsports to bring you this week's Learn to Drive video. We're working late model stocks at Iowa as part of iRacing 2025 Season 1 Week 10 official series action. If you guys can, please make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, share this video with a friend who might need some help. These videos do a ton to help get my message out across iRacing, helping people learn, as well as bringing eyes on my channel, which is great for when I go work with sponsors. Speaking of, you can head over to one of my sponsors, Impel Motorsports. They've got some great Moza R 3, 5, 9, 12. On their website as well as Sim Magic products. I myself, I use a Moza R9 steering wheel. I love it. I've got the CS wheel, so it's just kind of the plain circle wheel. But that's what I use on a daily basis. I stand behind those products. They will be linked in the description below. And two, if you're looking or if you just want to say thanks for these videos, which a couple people did this week, a great way to do so is to head over to team53racing.com. Click on our fans only sponsorship. $10 gets your name on the car. It's quite the bundle. Really cool deal. Like I said, it helps me out with my late model racing here in Wisconsin. And then my 12-year-old daughter is looking to race as well. So if you're interested in helping out with that, you can send money. I'll send you an email after, and you can just tell me it's for Sydney, not for you. So no worries there. But Iowa this week in the late model stocks is going to be something completely different for everyone. It's not something that we really do very often, and quite frankly, I am of the opinion that it's not something we should do ever. This is not something that you will see Cars Tour late model stocks ever run. At least it's not like a good combination for them. These cars are going way too fast. The ability to pass is going to be severely limited, and it's really just going to be a draft fest and maintaining what you have in your car for the duration of the run. So let's kind of go out here for qualifying. We're going to tire heat like we do every single time. You're going to notice too that on entry this car is really, really loose, especially with our Team 53 custom setup that we're doing. The iRacing set is pretty solid, but it was 2.5 tenths slower in testing for just the Team 53 stuff, and then qualifying it just, I mean, it's not even in the same zip code to speak. So we'll go high here and get a good run to our green flag lap, which was my fastest lap. I found that lap 2 I would run into a problem where the car would overheat as I was coming to the start finish line and I'd lose power. So down here on the start finish line, let's take a look inside the cockpit. Heard a lot of great feedback from this. We're going to continue to do videos both inside the cockpit and out. There's just so much that people lose if you're just reviewing your laps inside your cockpit. A lot of it is you might think you're all the way at the bottom, you might think you're all the way up at the wall, but you're really far off. So what I'm kind of doing here is I'm at the start finish line here at Iowa. We're going 136 miles an hour. But if you look, this bottom seam here, it just kind of goes even with the left side body panel of our car. And that's how I know that I'm up at the track wide enough. I could probably go a little bit higher. I could probably go a little bit straighter, but this is a pretty good spot for me. So we've got that there. Let's go back to the far chase so you can see the outside. So we're going to go down the front stretch, and we're going to keep it up here towards the wall. We're just going to ride here up towards the wall. You can see our steering wheel not really moving. It's going to start to move in towards the corner here, right here. So it's just before this grass opens out, a couple car lengths before that. It will open up and you'll start to turn in. Really start to turn in once the grass opens. We're going to lift a little bit out of throttle. We're going to get this car ready for turn one. For turn one, I'm bringing it in and I'm trying to get it so that when I cross over here, it's kind of a five flag style entry where you're going to cross over. So these seams would be your dash line that you'd have at five flags. So we're going to cross over those seams and we're going to come down, and our goal is going to be kind of to be right here around this yellow line, right around pit exit, which is exactly the same feeling look wise that you have at five flags, only this interior wall is 8 inches from you. So we're going to bring it down, and we're going to keep bringing the car down. And then here in the center of the corner, this is where we're going to hit our lowest point, and we're going to throttle up, and we're going to carry this car up off the corner. It's a super boring lap when you're just looking at it, but inside the car is doing a lot of things over the bump, which you'll see when we look inside the car. So we go down the backstretch. We're going to arc it into the corner about the time that this yellow line here on the inside of the track separates for pit entry. So we'll use that as our kind of our barrier or our marker. We'll go down here into the corner. And again, we didn't look at down the backstretch how you know if you're close enough to the wall. Let's go into the cockpit here. And it's kind of the same, like this seam is right on the top of this hinge is probably the easiest way for me to tell. I'm right up tight next to the wall. You can see there. So that's probably the easiest way to look at it there. So we go here into the corner. We're going to find our turn-in point, which is right around the time that that line separates when we go across that. We'll turn in. And you guys know too, like when I'm showing you these reference points, it's not necessarily meant when you're in the car to be actively looking for that spot, but it's to know when you're going back reviewing these laps to be able to say, I turned in late. I was starting in late. I was way later than Justin was. I was way later than, whatever. So that's kind of my goal here. We're going to bring this car into three. And again, we're keeping some throttle in. And you can see I'm not hardly turning the steering wheel at all through these corners. It's just kind of going straight through them. It drives itself down to the bottom. We go full throttle. And then we just drive up off the corner straight. And now here, this is where there's kind of two schools of thought. If I had really been actively trying to get my fastest lap here, I would have kept this car pinched off this corner and driven straight across the curve here on the front stretch at Iowa. But I was still kind of thinking maybe lap 2 would be good on this lap, so I kept it up here towards the wall. But you can make some time by bringing your car down here and just making your track shorter, basically. So remember, when you're running up against the wall at a track, it's longer around the track than if you're down on the bottom. But what compensates, right, is that you have to carry speed and momentum. So if you're just running around the bottom, it's not necessarily going to be the fastest way. It's the shortest way, but it's not the fastest way. So keep that in mind as you're going here around Iowa. Let me rewind this really quick. I'll let you guys hop in the car and hear a lap. We'll go from like off of turn middle of 3 and 4 maybe. Yeah, that should be good. Middle of 3 and 4 all the way around. So you're in the cockpit. I'll just kind of let you guys ride along. Now you can see there when we're running it in real time just how much action is happening with the steering wheel on a given lap. It's not as smooth as it seems when you're looking in there. It's not as, it's not super rough and tumbly. There's not a lot of wasted motion, but it's all reacting to different things in the track. So that's something that you guys are really going to have to get used to this week at Iowa is just how fast things are happening. Now, in terms of race, this car is probably built for a little bit of a medium length run. It's gonna it's gonna take a lot of finesse and practice for you guys, I think, in race trim to really succeed. Now, I know Iowa it's really high paced, it's really fast speed, and it's not really a track that we typically run. It's not a style of track that works really well with the late model stocks, in my opinion. So the big key is going to be keeping your right rear underneath you and making sure that you have right rear at the end. So this is one where if you guys look, I have a video on my channel of how to save tires in iRacing, and this is going to be a week where you really want to look at how you're saving your tires, what your tire wear is after a 10, 15, 20 lap run to know where it's going to trend over the course of a full race. Um, excuse me. So just kind of watch that and understand where you're at within there. In terms of passing here at Iowa, I think it's going to be all pack based. You're going to need a draft, you're going to need a run. You'll see a lot of guys diving into turn one, a lot of guys diving into turn three, just because that's really your only off throttle point is in there. So Let's take a quick look here at a race lap and just see the difference here. Lap 1 going into the corner and lifting. So you see we're getting out of it kind of the same points, but we're getting out much more. Like we're almost out of the throttle completely here in 1. Um, so that's kind of a difference here. Otherwise, it's going to look the same. Entry to 3 is going to be the same way, where we're getting out of throttle a lot more. And that's just because we've got more fuel in the rear end. The car is a lot freer, and we don't need to be in throttle to keep that nose set and to keep that rear end underneath us. So we can kind of lift a little bit more there. But it's really, like I said, it's going to be a game of just saving those tires. You can see that skid through that whole corner. Those are things that you're really going to have to watch and make sure you have the car underneath you in a race trim mode. So if you guys do decide to run this week at Iowa, let me know how you do. You can reach out to me, team53racing.com, facebook.com/team53wi, and then you can head over to Discord. Uh, Join us through Discord. You can get access to all of our setups. We have a nice promotion going on if you've made it this far. I feel like there should be a reward. But if you made it this far through the video and you're looking at joining Team 53, if you join now, you can pick up the last couple weeks of the season. I'll throw in for no additional charge. So head on over to the Discord, send me a message, head over to our website, and best of luck racing this week, and we will see you guys in the next video.